Hello everyone and welcome to Lakeside again. Okay, so it's the summer solstice today, so longest time of the year, which is brilliant. What I'm up to now is the next phase where I will be putting the back scenes up, and I really need to do that now before I can progress with any of the other work. It's something which I've been putting off because it's not the easiest jobs to do, as you know. And what I've got is a full set of ID back scenes, and this is the premium range, and it's the scenes for Into the Town. Now in the last Lakeside I had, it was much more country, but I wanted this a little bit more not industrial, but houses showing and things like that. So I opted to get this version, which is Into the Town, and it's P107 is the ID back scenes code number for it. There's 4 in the complete set, and each pack contains 2 about 5 foot long graphics, and they are split into 2 so that you end up with a 10-foot span once the 2 are joined together. So I've got 4 of those, and I'm hoping that that should be enough to cover virtually all the way around. If not, I'll get another pack and join it up. Where the join is, I should make that a scenic break. Now the height of this particular batch I've got is 9 inches. You can get them in 9-inch high and 15-inch high, but I've had to go for the 9-inch one because of the slope on the wall here. That allows me then to position this graphic about 10 inches up, so I should leave an inch at the bottom of white or nothing. I then have the very top, excuse me, have the very top, at the very top of the board, which I should be putting up. So although it's going to be short, it's really, I have no option because I can't really go above the curvature of the roof. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. So there's 4 there to do. That's 8 in total to put up. Now I've been hunting around for some foam board. If you remember from my last video, I spoke to Robin over on his channel, and he used 3mm Foamex, and his has come out a treat. I looked into buying some of this, and it's, for the amount I want, it's quite expensive. It ranged from about £70 to £110 depending on where I went, which is a lot of money just for something which you're going to cover up. So I was humming and hawing on what to use, and then I had a brilliant idea. Well, I thought it was brilliant. The company who I last worked for 18 years, we used to set up exhibition stands, and on those exhibition stands we designed and produced graphics panels, and they were mounted on 3mm Foamex, which is Foamex is the trade name for 3mm foam board. So I phoned my mate up, who still works there, and said, have you got any old graphics panels? Because I know that we used to save a whole load of them from different exhibitions, and yeah, he had loads of them. So I went over this morning and picked probably about 10 up, and they are these things. I won't show you the other side because it's got the company name on, who I used to work for, on the graphics panel. So all I need to do is cut these into strips of 10-inch high and join them together to make one long strip. I spoke to the owner of the company of ID back scenes, and he was in the printing trade for many years, and he said that what he used to do for curvatures was to use a heat gun on this very lightly, and you can actually bend the foam board and it will stay in that position. He said just do it gradually, and you will gradually get the bend in the foam board. The reason I want the bend is that on 3 of the corners I want it to curve round so that you don't see a corner join. I just think that looks a little bit naff, to be honest with you, where you get just 2 edges butting up together like that. I'd much rather see a continuous curve on it. That way it eliminates a corner of the layout. So what I'm going to be doing is I should do a video of me doing this, and I will do it in speeded up time so that you're not bored stiff. You probably will be actually, of me putting this up. I won't show all of it because obviously that would take far too long. I don't want to get the video too long. I'm trying to aim for 20-25 minutes max on this. So that's the plan. So it's cutting these into strips of 10" high, screwing them to wooden battens, and then screwing the whole assembly onto the back edge of the layout. And then it will be a case of mounting the back scenes onto the board. All fairly standard stuff, but as you know, these are horrendously difficult to put up in certain cases. Because they are self-adhesive, you have one shot, and one shot only, and if you screw it up you might as well take it off and throw it away, because if you get any creases or bubbles or anything like that in them, then the bubbles to a certain extent you can get out, but creases, no way. It will never look right. So I should be taking my time on this and doing it really, really carefully. Whether I will get creases, who knows. I've put up many graphics panels myself, and I know what it's like. So let's start, and the first thing to do is to chop these up into strips of 10" high and then join them together on the battening. And then I will put some strengtheners behind the joins so that it holds it together. You can super glue this stuff, and it holds very well because it just literally melts into the foam board. So that's what I shall be using, super glue to join. So let's get cracking and see how we go. Okay, so speak to you later. Bye. Hello again. Right, I've now cut 16 sections of the foam board, and I've just put 2 up for the moment just to see how it goes really, and I think 16 should about be enough. And what I've decided to do is that I want to do this side first, which is over by the bridge side. I've got just enough room in here to lay, I don't know, 5 I guess, which is what I think will take up this length, 5 lengths down, join them together on the floor, and then I can, on the floor, while it's down, stick the first 2 on the back, on the foam board. I think that was going to be a lot easier than trying to put it up on the wall where I can. So I'm going to give that a shot, and it's probably going to take 2 people to lift the whole assembly up and put it in position. But first thing I've got to do first is to put down some battening on the very edge of the baseboard so that I can then screw this to the bottom. The size I've now determined to be 9.5 inches for the foam board. That allows a 1/2 inch at the bottom, which won't have any seam, but that of course will be built up with some scenics anyway, so I'm not worried about that at all. And that will allow me then to put screws in the bottom to screw it to the battling. So in theory, it should work, but that's theory, isn't it? Okay, so let's get cracking. I will start putting the battling down on the perimeter, and then it'll be time to glue the foam ball together and then lay the back seam. Okay, so I'll speak to you later. Okay, bye for now.
Right, hello again. So what I've done now is that I've trimmed off the panels to suit as regards the height. I've then glued each panel on each join with a backing piece, spare piece of foam board on the back. Glued that with super glue to the back of it. I've then gone through on the join itself, this side up, and spread some super glue in that join. That's all holding really well. So I've done 5 of those, and that will give me enough length now to do this one side. And I'm in the process of putting down the second roll of the first back seam. So this is back seam D, and this section here is the very last one, so that's roll B. And I've now joined here, let me finger, this one here is now joined onto, which is A, that's now joined onto B. So I'm now in the process of just putting this last roll along here. So what I would do, I would just position the camera about there, and then you'll be able to see me pushing this last roll down onto the main boards. Okay, so here we go. So the key really is the very start to get it square, and so all I did was to lay it out and sellotape every so often on the white border, so that I knew it was square, lifted it up, but having first tacked it at the beginning, so I know that as I roll it out it will naturally go down in the position I want. Good luck. Okay, so all I need to do now is lift this up, pull the backing off about 3 or 4 inches, crunch it up, and gradually, very gradually, work your way through getting rid of any air bubbles. Don't let this down until you've pushed all the air out. If you operate from the centre here first, then you can go from the centre out to the sides. And then you won't get any air bubbles. I assume you can still see this. Little speck of dust or something just there. Now this might look awkward, well it is, but it's certainly a lot easier than trying to do it in the vertical position when it's mounted up on the layout. It's not particularly comfortable, but it's getting the job done. If you've hung wallpaper, it's virtually the same thing. Difference being is that with being self-adhesive, you've got one shot at it and that's it. You screw it up, you screw it up, and you start again. And there's not one single air bubble in that. You can go over it with your hand and you can fill any air bubbles. Oh, actually there's one just there. I'll show you how to get rid of that in a minute. Very small one. Final bit. Don't be tempted to take this off till you're right at the very end, because what will happen is that the paper will fold down and you will get a hump. And there we go. Right, two little bubbles there, so all you do with a knife, fill the centre of the air bubble, give it a little prick, push it out. You're just releasing the air. There you go. Both those air bubbles are now gone. And there was one up here somewhere. There it is. Tiny little one with a little show. Gone. And there you go. So that now is a complete section of roll D, both A and B, now put down. So what I will do now I can now put down the roll B of C here, and I will put it down to the very end and then leave it. I shall leave it rolled up. Then what I can do, that gives me a good start to then join on to the next section. So that should now lift up without falling apart, which it does. Next job, trim this top edge off, trim that one end off, job done. I've already put some let me come around here, back to the camera. I've already put some blocks up on the baseboard, so now I can, once I've trimmed this off, I can then put that straight up to there and screw on the bottom edge. Oh, my camera's going. Having a senior moment there. Yeah, so I can probably end of today. Got to take the dog for a walk now. So at the end of the day I can probably have this mounted up, which is tip top. Didn't expect to get that done today, to be honest. So all good, very good. And these back scenes are just absolutely fabulous to work with. It's the Premier edition
So it's printed on a polyester, it's not paper, it's not polyester, polymer. And you don't tear them, you have to cut them if you do cut. And they go down an absolute treat, but you just get one shot. That's the problem. If you don't get it right first time, scrap it. But with a bit of care, as you can see, it's gone down. Okay, I will carry on, take the dog for a walk, and I will catch you later. Okay, so hopefully this will be up with the third roll attached and rolled up at the end. So we'll be good to go. Okay, right, see you in a minute, bye. Hello again everyone. Right, I was going to do a speeded up video thing of me putting this together, this back scene, but to be honest with you, it really wasn't worth it. I did do it, but playing it back, I thought, well, there's not really much point in showing it. It really was just a case of unrolling these images and putting them down as you've seen on the previous part of the video. So what I've done is to put blocks of timber at strategic points on the joins of the foam board, and then screwed it to the blocks of wood. So the back scene itself is now not fixed to the wall, it's fixed to the baseboard, the main baseboard here, which was what I was after. The last one was fixed to the wall, which was not a good idea. So this is now fixed to the baseboard, and it's come out absolutely beautiful. I am so pleased with this. There was a couple of air bubbles, small ones, which I got out just by pricking them and then pressing them, and yeah, absolutely fabulous, really was. So pleased with it. So I've come to the end here. So I've done what I wanted to do today, which was put this scene up. So now I can carry on from here, and this is one of the bits of leftover scenery from the previous layout, which is curving round very nicely this area here. So I should be utilising this part, and then I can put some, if I can grab hold of it, put some blocks behind and curve it around this. And I should do what I did before, and that's leave a small gap between the back scene and this, because it does really give it like we can see it kind of effect there. It gives it a 3D effect where it does look as if it's in the distance. So I should do that again on this section, and then bring it round, and then I'm onto this lift up section here, and I know what I should be doing there, so that it will work, hopefully. So that's it. Very, very pleased with it. Very pleased. Really good back scenes, these ID ones. Thoroughly recommend them. Okay, I think that's about it. I've done a few still shots as well, which I'll tag on the end of this video. So hopefully the next one, which won't be for a little while now, I will carry on round that side to about there, and then I will carry on around that area there, around the back to about there, and then I can concentrate on the road system then, which should bring us very closely and very nicely up to my birthday, which I have dropped so many hints to my wife about the road system for my birthday present, as it's a biggie this year. So maybe I'll get one, who knows. Okay, so that's about it, folks, and I'll speak to you again later, and hopefully next time I do it, all the back scenes will be up, including over there as well. Okay, so bye for now, and it's coming on nicely. So bye for now, and speak to you later. Bye.